life is beautiful. Life is full of laughter and love and happiness and joy and peace and light and lots of good things. But there is also sadness and pain and darkness, and we have to, and that's a reality. That's just a part of the journey. I think it's important that we acknowledge that, and that we acknowledge that sometimes traumatic events happen. And trauma can be anything from a divorce to a disease to the passing of someone we love. And that someone could be furry. That someone could be furry as much as it could be human. It could be the trauma of a crime. It could be the trauma of war. It could be the trauma of a natural disaster, an earthquake or a hurricane. There are lots of different traumas that we are touched by in our lives. And again, I don't think that's a negative thing to dwell on. I think it's important that we face that we talk about it in this way when we're fine, rather than when it happened. Because when it happened, it's very difficult to talk about it objectively. It's very difficult to think about things in healthy, productive ways when we're in that situation, when we're in that trauma. First responders deal with that every day. First responders deal with traumatic events every day. I mean, Tuesday and I have only been here less than 3 days. We've only been here a few days. But already we have seen first responders react on our way. A new friend was driving us through town, and we saw a Jeep with the sirens going, reacting to some trauma. I don't know what that trauma was, but if those sirens are going, they're responding to a trauma. And thank God they're there to help us out. But they look at trauma, they see trauma every day of all kinds. And that's a very difficult job. It's why we honor them the way we do, because they deal with things every day that we only experience but a few times in our life. Trauma has an amazing way of making a person's ability to trust very difficult. And trust is everything. Trust is everything. Right now, we're all trusting that this building will stay on. The electricity will stay on. And I trusted Tuesday, and I trusted that Lynn would be here and Brooke would be here. And all of us here in the Nantucket community trusted that this police officer would take care of us and that the fire department would take care of us. And I trusted that Tuesday would take care of me and help me here. We are constantly, it runs through everything. We all need trust to live and be happy. So when a trauma happens and our ability to trust is affected, it's very powerful. It can be very powerful. So in maintaining a stable relationship, sometimes married relationships, friendship, relationships with all kinds of things, even God sometimes. Sometimes something bad happens and we question and we doubt and we ask why. And we can't think straight because our trust has been affected. And that's not unnatural. That's natural because that pain affected us. Dissociative symptoms, boy, that's kind of a big, what that means is that you have a hard time connecting with people. You may not want to go to the government building at 6 o'clock on Wednesday evening because you just feel disconnected. You don't want to associate with other people because you may be depressed or angry. And again, when this list here, this is not unnatural and it's not bad. We tend to think of anger and depression and nightmares as bad. And of course, it's not happy and it's not welcome, but it's not bad. It's the way it happens. It is a reality. It's important that we, I think, understand that these things are natural. They're not exactly where we want to be, but they're natural. They're not bad. And there is a difference there. We tend to think, oh, well, if someone's angry, they shouldn't be angry because that's bad. But when you look at Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief, anger is right in there. And that's natural. That's natural. In fact, it's kind of good to go through these emotions in a productive way. Because if we don't, then we bottle up all these things. And then we, as that slide said, we never get through. We never heal. We never get to a better place. We bottle up these things for so many years. Some people spend a lifetime bottling up these things, and they never really be happy and thrive in the way that they should and want to. Their nightmares, one of the things that I had to deal with, and it started in Iraq, in the war, I had to deal with very bad nightmares. One of the things that Tuesday has helped me do, and it's a beautiful thing. I thank him all the time, hundreds of times a day I thank Tuesday. But I had a terrible time sleeping, terrible time. I would go to sleep for 2 hours and I couldn't stay asleep. And you know, when you can't sleep, that's pretty awful. When you can't sleep, you feel tired the next day. You almost can't do anything because you're so tired. But Tuesday, now I have almost no problem sleeping, because Tuesday, who I can trust and who's there, he tucks me in, which is one of the titles of our book. He makes me feel secure. He makes me feel peaceful and happy and loved, and I can trust him. And so now I have very little problem sleeping.